So if you haven't heard about this thing is Ukrainian Neptune missile. Now, for a while now, it's been expected when Ukraine is going to finally unveil their long-range missile, because work on it has been ongoing for a while now. And this is important. Why? Because people might ask, but Ukraine has already long-range drones. They can strike like 1,400 kilometers. And the obvious answer is a little bit after the thought, which is drones are relatively slow. They're slow-moving targets. Missiles are still missiles. So Ukraine has literally just basically developed and now put in full production their own homemade 1,000 kilometers cruise missile. Incredible work, and Russia already felt the consequences. Some of their oil refining facility or oil storage facility, I don't remember which one it was, around Tuapse in Krasnodar, has already felt this impact. There has been reports that potentially some of the previous impacts that we've seen on the oil production facilities in Russia should have been attributed to the Neptune, but there was no confirmation. But finally, we have the confirmation. So this changes things. We need to understand that when Russia started attacking Ukraine, well, obviously we are now day, 1,000 something, over like way 1,000 days into this war, and it was supposed to be a 3-day special military operation, and nothing in Russia was supposed to get hurt. And while Russians are more or less trying to kind of deal with Ukrainian drone assaults because, well, they are drones, while they're numerous, they also have their drawbacks. They're quite easy to shut down. Now, Ukraine has also shown that they have their own home production of cruise missiles, which is great, which is amazing. And especially this is important to the amazing parts that when we're talking about the potential for Ukraine to scale the production of equipment. We talked extensively about the fact that Ukraine, if they want to substitute any kind of help that's coming from the USA, that they would need to boost their own home production. And I explained specifically that while in Europe we have the money, we don't have a lot of the weapons production facilities. So there we are. This is just another example of where potentially additional funds allocated to this production can increase significantly ability of Ukraine to produce their homemade cruise missiles. This is great, and like the difference between this or HIMARS and ATACMS, firstly, obviously, it's a longer range. But most importantly, this is a homebrew missile for Ukraine. This is their own defense sector. So there's not going to be any man in the middle that's going to say, no, you cannot strike this, which obviously means only one very specific thing for anyone in Moscow, because Moscow is very much in range of this, if you know what I'm getting at. The point is, Putin should not feel safe. Putin should not feel complacent. And Russia should not think that anything is over, because nothing is. We hear right now a lot, and we're going to probably touch on some of your questions. I don't want to speculate too long, that while there is a lot of discussion about the future of the peace talks and so on, I feel that we can now very firmly agree with what I've been saying before the peace talks and peace proposals came out on the table, is that we're nowhere near any kind of agreement, okay? There is seemingly no reasonable ceasefire plan on the table that would be accepted by Russia. So Russia doesn't accept it because they think that everything is nice and good and they're winning so hard, so much winning for them. Unfortunately for them, it's not going well, and it's not going to be going well even further now with the Neptune missile being in the pockets of Ukraine to strike all those vital targets that they couldn't reach beforehand.